Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're having an awesome day. So I've got an old skate deck here that I've had lying around. It's pretty hacked up, pretty trashed, and I thought I'd turn it into a retro cruiser. So hang around, I'll show you the steps and show you how maybe you can turn an old deck of yours into something cool. Hey guys, so here it is. My old deck I had lying around. The edges and the ends are pretty chipped and hacked up, so I thought I'd turn it into a cruiser. It's got my original Variflex 60/90 wheels off the very first skateboard I owned as about a 14-year-old. Wheels are still good, bearings were trashed, so I chucked some new bearings on, threw on some old trucks, and yeah, handles pretty good. So I'll show you how to cut it down and how to design a little bit of a shape you can use to turn into something a bit original. Okay, so what I did is grabbed a bit of paper, did up a bit of a sketch of what I wanted it to come out like, cut some indents around the corners, leveled off the tail, bit more of a point at the front to give it that retro feel, and I'll show you a trick now how you can trace around it using a Stanley knife to cut into the grip tape, giving you basically the guide where you want to cut. Okay, so the next step, basically lay it over the deck, get it all lined up, trace around your outline with a nice sharp Stanley knife so you're going to cut into the grip tape, and then later on you should be able to peel away the outer edges which should expose the wood. That'll give you a guide where you want to cut with your jigsaw. Okay, so once you've laid the paper on, done the cutting with a nice sharp knife, the next bit is basically peeling off those pieces like that, and you'll expose the wood underneath. That'll give you a perfect guide for how to cut later on with the jigsaw. Okay, so there you go. That's all the grip tape cut and peeled off. I reckon it's looking pretty 1960s funky retro. Yeah, baby. Okay, so next step, basically taking the wheels and trucks off. I might have showed you this trick before, I'll say it again. I've got a little Allen key piece here, I'll do a close-up. What it is an Allen key that I hacked in half with a hacksaw. It exposes off just the shaft, which makes a really handy little tool you can chuck in the end of a drill. Use it for undoing the bolts at the top of your deck. Lock in a pair of multi-grips underneath. Wind that drill, and they'll come off in no time. Okay, so that's wheels and trucks off, all ready to go. The next part's using a jigsaw, which is a dangerous power tool, so make sure you're careful with your fingers because that'll be a deal breaker if it gets them. Probably practice on an old piece of wood first. If you've never used a jigsaw, let it cut through the wood by itself. Don't push it because they have a habit of jumping and grabbing and things go wrong pretty quick. Okay, so here goes. Okay, so there's the board all cut out. As you can see, it's looking pretty rad, pretty hacked up. And you're probably thinking, bro, you hacked up that board. There is no way that's coming good. It's cool, hang with me. I've got a few more tricks. I'm gonna show you how to shape it with a grinder now. Okay, next up, grinding. What skater out there doesn't love a good grind? So what you want to do is basically use your grinder to go around the edges of the wood to turn them into a nice rounded corner. Do it as much as you need to. You'll find that the wood will heat up and it'll actually seal around the edges with a nice hardened finish, a little bit like it's been lacquered. It's actually a nice little trick I found a while ago for chipped boards on the ends. Use a grinder and you can repair them and get them back to decent looking shape. Okay, so there we go. Grinding all done. Edge is nice and smooth. Basically what I'm going to do now is chuck a little bit of black paint around the edges just to finish it off. Whack those trucks and wheels back on. Take this puppy for a skate. So there you go, one custom retro skate deck converted from an old trashy board. If that doesn't get you all 1960s retro psychedelic, nothing will. Peace and love, my brothers.